The strength of the team is each individual member. The strength of each member is the team. Phil Jackson. What does that mean to you?
I gotta read it a couple times. You know, I'm one of them people that gotta read it.
Page 70.
Page 70. And it's crazy, right? I like that it's from Phil Jackson, though. You know, he is the greatest.
And I went right to it. Just didn't even know.
The strength of the team is in each individual member, and the strength of each member is the team. So basically, what I take from it that the team is as good as each individual, and each individual is as good as the team. So if you on this team and you not carrying your own weight, guess what? That's gonna affect your partners and the outcome of the game. So all sides must be strong, you know, in order for us to be successful. That's kind of what I get from it.
Right. Yeah. Nice. So welcome everybody to the channel, to How to Battle. I'm here today with Giane Lollar, a good friend of mine, the owner of Fatal Fit, right?
Yes, sir.
And many other things that we'll get into. But I just want to say that Fatal Fit and Giane Lollar, my good friend, him and I were in a prison cell together for what, about a year? About a year. He was the last person that I saw when I left prison, and we went to college together. We became friends, and we connected immediately. And so to have you here on the show is an honor, and I
Thank you for having me.
I feel like it's a surreal moment because it's like something that I envisioned. And getting into that, one of the things that when I think about you that I equate with you is the uncanny ability to like visualize something and then actually manifest it. Because I remember inside, and like you would say that you were going to get out. Like you just like, I know I'm going to get out, and I truly believe it. I don't know how, but it's going to happen. And then like you manifested that. You got out after serving 17 years in prison, and you had triple life.
Correct.
And you were saying this in the time when you still had triple life.
Correct.
And you were talking about the things you were going to do when you got out. And now here you are, and you've been out how long?
10 months. I've been out 10 months. Yeah.
10 months. This is insane. So I'll start here. Like, just tell us about yourself. And you can start wherever feels right for you. And just tell us who you are. For people out there that don't know you, tell us your story.
For sure. It's an honor. So first off, before I get into my storytelling, I would like to thank you for sharing your platform. You know, this means a lot to me coming from where we come from. You know, you manifested this, and it's an honor to be a part of it. Now, my story goes like this. My name is Giane Lollar, also known as Coach G. I'll tell you about that a little later. But Giane Lollar, I come from a destructive background, to say the least. Came from a destructive gang out of Compton. My whole childhood was raised in Compton. You know, I had both parents there, but Pops was in and out of prison. Mom was there working 2 jobs, did the best she can do. Pops did the best he can do. Ultimately, I adapted a lot of their mannerisms, tradition, and ways, you know, them being my first role model and wanting to be like them. I incorporated a lot of their, you know, ways, and I became just like them in a sense, you know. And years passed, I committed crime, go to juvenile halls, camp, all these different things. It's just progression, you know, of my criminal ladder. And then ultimately I shot somebody. I ended up in prison at the age of 17 with triple life, gang shooting. And when I first got to prison, of course, I kept the same behavior going because at the time I still felt that Ludus Park and my gang was everything. I didn't know how to separate the two. You know, Fatal and Gianei, they was all one. So I continued that same approach. I tried to up my ranks in my first 8 to 10 years in prison. I was heavy trying to, you know, become this big dog, and ultimately I failed because it's an illusion. No matter how high you get in that, it's still no value and it's still illusion. So I had an epiphany around 2013, I'm gonna say. I got my GED. And before that, I always thought that I was on earth just to gangbang. So that's all I did. But once I got that GED, it touched me in the sense that it told me that I can do more than just gangbang. And that was the confidence builder. And that right there, I can say where my transition started. I started hanging with more positive, productive type people. Don't get me wrong, I still would hang with my people, but I would like to call, I would stiff arm them sometime. I would say, you know what, I'm over here today. And that allowed me to, meet new friends, build stronger networks and, ultimately become a better person. So I went through that, going back and forth through trying to find myself, transitioning, survive, all these different things that we go through in prison. And then it just hit me one day like, bro, I got to become an independent thinker. And that's ultimately what did it. It's like, bro, yeah, I'm a part of y'all, but I'm still going to think on my own. If I don't agree with it, I'm not participating. And that's just how I start moving. So I had that approach. I started thinking like that, moving like that. Then I came across the good fellas in here. We all met in Centinela. And that really was the ground that changed me completely. I enrolled in college. And that kind of really did it, education. I blame education for who I am today, learning about different cultures and different, just different things that I never thought about, gave me something that I never had, which is a bunch of information and knowledge. Like we all say, like we all have heard, knowledge is power. And that's what kind of gave me the power, the confidence to become who I am today. I'm a personal trainer, so I did tell y'all, my name is Coach G. I'm certified nutritionist, certified personal trainer. I have a Fatal Fitness program. It's a 12-week program that can guarantee to transition anybody a body, whether you're trying to tone up, lose weight, whatever. And I'm also a part of L7, which is a nonprofit organization. My good friend Giane, he started it. He put me on the board. I'm a committee chairman. And that's what I do right now. I'm personal training. I do the nonprofit, and ultimately I'm just trying to build and grind and become a better person.
Right, amazing. And for the listeners out there, when he stated that he's in the room with those who influenced him a lot, he's talking about Trayvon Harris, our good friend that we were in the prison yard with, as well as Bryson McCauley, who is the founder and CEO of Last of a Dying Seed. Great friends, and I remember we used to meet up in the law library and be like trying to figure out ways that we can become successful when we got out. So always keeping that mindset that we're going to get out, and when we get out, we're going to be in some way prepared. But I want to just touch on a few things that you talked about in your story. Growing up in Compton and Ludus Park, in gang-infested neighborhood, around that environment, what is one story that stands out to you that you feel really impacted you in some way, whether good or bad? But I just want to for the listeners, I want to kind of give them an idea of what it's like to grow up in an environment like that at a young age. And you went to prison when you were how old?
17.
17 years old, you go to prison, so you're still a kid. And so the listeners, because a lot of the people that listen to How to Battle are people who don't really come from the life that we come from, but they're very interested in it. So what is something that stood out to you at that age when you were young that still sticks out to you today, growing up in Compton?
So it's so many, but I'm going to say one that I speak on a lot that changed my life, and it was in a bad way. So in 1998, I remember vividly. It's like certain things happen, you can go back to the moment. But one night, me and my siblings and my mother, we was getting in the truck to go get some chili dog material. We was gonna get some chili dogs.
Yeah,
so get some chili dogs, right? And on the way, getting into the car, mind you, I grew up in a neighborhood where most of the time, a lot of my houses was a hangout spot. So this night, a few homies at that time, these older homies at that time, hanging out there. And as we get in the car, a white Explorer pull out and just get to shooting. Boom, 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 boom. Mind you, I'm 98, it's 98. I'm 9 years old. Yeah, I'm 19 years old. And it was a dude, it was two people got shot in my front yard that night. And both of them still alive today. I've seen them since I've been out of prison. But that day right there, I believe changed my life forever. I didn't know how to process that. I lived a life full of PTSD ever since that moment.
Yeah.
And it's for the simple fact that when it happened, my mama took me to my auntie house. But what didn't happen, that I know in hindsight that should have happened, should have came to all of us and asked us how y'all, like, you know, how y'all feel, like, you know, how y'all processing that, like, express what you just went through. You know, that's the first step towards healing, and it didn't happen. So that from that point on, I always walked around looking over my shoulder thinking like, damn, when the bullet gonna come hit me? When I'm gonna get shot?
Yeah.
So, and ultimately that kind of made me turn me into a savage, because I seen a man out there crying and like dying and gasping, like, and I didn't know how to process it. I didn't understand it. And I'm like, I told myself I would never be that. I would never be out shot on the ground screaming, gasp for air. And that ultimately turned me to pick up guns and shooting people. So hopefully that was
that's
you know.
That's a powerful story, and it says so much. There's so much to be said in that story, because, like, you're right. Like, we see so much stuff growing up, and there's never really like the help that we need in order to like deal with it. So then what we do is we deal with the feelings that we're having because of that event in other ways, like drugs, violence, and trying to be accepted, and all these things that lead us to prison or death.
Right.
So like now in retrospect, looking back, I completely understand that. Like, it's always an event of some sort that's kind of like the tipping point. So now fast forwarding to prison, what was the tipping point event for you in prison that said, I mean, if there was a tipping point event, or maybe it was like a few different things, but what was one of the things that stands out to you today that you feel kind of like led you to get things right, to just start doing things differently? Was it a certain event? What was it?
So my experience went like this. I ended up stumbling across one of my partners on the yard. Now this dude's a lunatic. He's a maniac. And I know him from the streets. We ended up on the yard together, and this dude was not that person that I once knew him of. And he has changed. But for the good though, he became positive, righteous. And I'm looking, I used to be like, damn, bro, like, you was a demon. Yeah. Like, literally the stuff he was into, like, and seeing him who he was today, that told me I can change. That let me know right there, like, you know what? If this dude's a sociopath, right? If he was able to do this, it's like, bro, I can change my life. And then that's when I started, you know, slowly but surely transitioning and migrating and navigating to doing different things, because it's a dude that he raised me, and he like telling me like the stuff I'm doing today ain't right no more. And it's like, bro, that's full circle. So I'm like, now here a dude that I know for sure they used to do a bunch of destruction, but here it is telling me to be righteous. That struck me. So I'm like, you know what?
That's
I
powerful.
can do better.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I try to express to people about prison is, like, prison isn't always just filled with bad people or filled with bad events. And like that moment that like a person that had a big influence on you growing up that led you astray can re-encounter you and now give you a different way of looking at life, and to spark a little bit of like hope in you that there's a better way. Like, that's a powerful moment. That's like true like redemption. That's true like amends for the wrongs that we do.
For sure.
And so there's powerful moments in prison, and there's horrible moments in prison. And what was one of the most horrible moments that you've witnessed in prison? Because it's like prison is sometimes, often when we get out, we kind of just want to like never look back and never think about it again. It's like you're digging up like a grave, and you're releasing something back out. But I think that those are important stories to tell about like humanity, you know, like the way a person can actually be, good or bad.
Right.
Because when you talk about people, good and bad people, horrible and good people, in a way, we talk about ourselves, because everybody has the same abilities within them. We all have the ability to kill if we need to, right?
For sure.
People kill and they're awarded for that, right? Some people kill and they go to prison for life.
Wow.
Right? So we all have and the same thing, all have the ability to do good, right? So there's people that do good and they're recognized for it, and there's people that do good in somewhere like the hole and they're never recognized for it. But the good they did isn't lesser than the good that somebody out here does. So I want to highlight that prison stuff,
right,
good and bad, to show people that you're we're all one thing away from being in prison, right?
sure.
We're all one act away.
One choice, one
One
decision
choice.
away.
So
Yeah.
what is one story or something happened in prison that was just a horrible thing? I know there's many.
Hey, out of 17 years, I got
Many.
a long list of horrible experience. But the one I'm gonna speak on today is, and it's crazy because the effect it had on me, it kind of, I don't know, I'm just gonna say what it is. So in 2011, I'm in Pelican Bay, BR. It's me and my homie, we sell these. So it's a 3-year war with the skinheads. It started in 2008, and here it is 2011. So it's on site. What the police did, this is so disturbing, bro. So they used to flip the days on showers. And y'all are like, all right, y'all the whites and the Hispanics, y'all program together, the blacks and the others, y'all program together. So today it's they program, it's the white boy program. So what they did, they accidentally, one of the police, not accidentally, they did it on purpose, you ask me, but they left a black dude door unlocked on the white and the Mexicans' day, and opened the door and let the white boys run in there and down there kill that dude. That right there, that has so much. I'm like, bro, because you always hear, don't trust the police ain't your friend, all that. That solidified that I gotta really be, I'm in prison. I have to watch, I ain't just gotta watch out for inmates, I have to watch out for the COs too, because for whatever reason, if they dislike you, or let's say they favor what a particular race that they from, they would do you like that. And I felt bad for that dude, because he didn't have a fighting chance. He in the bed, he was literally in the bed, got 4 white boys, big white boys run up in there and bushed him. Yeah. But so that was a impactful event. And like I said, I was already militant at that point, but it told me like, bro, you gotta watch all forces, not just the inmates, the police will do you too. So that was very impactful for me. Yeah, I think when I think about death, I think about one of the worst ways of dying is knowing you're about to die. Like if you're driving and you get hit by a car and you die instantly, I don't think that's that bad, in my perspective. But like when you know that you're about to die, that moment, like example, like for him, I don't know if he survived or not. He survived. But he probably, that feeling when he was getting stabbed by 4 people with all this hatred within them, when he was getting stabbed, like he's thinking now, like I'm about to die and this is how I go out. And I remember seeing something similar to that where the correctional officers opened the door and let 3 Southsiders come out and stab a northern Mexican, while he was cuffed up behind his back, and stabbed three of these guys with knives, stabbing him on the tier multiple times. And like he's helpless, he couldn't do anything. Like right, and so you see a little fight in him at first, trying to run, move. But then you also notice that when he gets stabbed one time in a certain place, all the fight's out of him. Right. So at that moment, when the fight is out of you and you're just there getting stabbed continuously, what are you thinking? Like what's going on in your mind? Like imagine that, like I'm about to die, I'm dying. Like that's a horrible way to go, right? So it's crazy that you say that. I've never been stabbed, bro, but I've been shot at many a times, and that's that feeling. Like, oh, I'm finna die. Like bullets is hitting the gates, hitting the cars, hitting the building, and just a matter of time for one hit me, then I'm out of here. But it is it's not comfortable to face. It's traumatic. For sure, it's not traumatic. To face. And so like dealing with that, seeing what you saw and all, like how do you, like all that from your past, how do you deal with that today? Because you've seen trauma, you've seen all these things. You went to prison when you were 17, you did 17 years. It's crazy to think about that. Like, how do you deal with that now? Like in the world, because you're out here doing more than people who've been out there their whole life. Your head's on straight, you're educated, you have a family. It's like, how is that possible for the people who don't understand that? It's kind of hard to explain, but I can say this. Going through them things, right, is what ultimately drive me to do better. Because it's like I've been to the bottom. I've been through the worst. I survived it. There's nothing that really can stop me but me. So I embrace it. Like, okay, it happened to me. I can't change it. Move forward, And sometimes I use it as a reference point to go back to, moving forward. Like, damn, how did this happen then? Maybe I can use something from here that I can use now to prevent, from doing the same thing over. But I just use it as, as fire, really. It's like, bro, I grew up with nothing.
Yeah.
I want something. So in order for me to get there, I can't settle. I gotta go hard. I'm the only one that's gonna bring me and my family any type of, pleasure. You feel me? Yeah. So I gotta go out there and do it. So I just use a lot of that stuff and just use it as motivation, Because at the end of the day, they got a true saying. They say if it don't kill you, it make you stronger. That's the truth. That should just build up a bunch of strength and catalyst that don't allow me to be affected by the average, troubles that people go through out here.
That's powerful. And it's powerful because it comes from somebody who's experienced like way more than most people that exist on this earth that talk about the same thing you just said, like shifting our pain, our hurt, and our trauma into like doing something meaningful and letting that be a driving force. Like people could say that all day, and you see people on social media talk about that all day, successful people, and it's like, but then you look at them in their life, they probably had struggles and all that, but they wouldn't survive what you went through. 99% of the people out there talking like that would never make it in prison. And you and I both know that, which is why, like, just because they're recognized and they're known, it doesn't mean that they're the most, in my view, the most admirable men.
Right.
To me, it's those who've really been through it. Those are the ones I look up to. So, so like now, do you feel that everything you went through in your life was meant to happen for you to be the man you are today?
Absolutely. So I believe this: if it was meant to hit you, it's gonna hit you. If it's meant to miss you, it's gonna miss you. I was hit. It's just how it's supposed to be. This is how my life was supposed to be. I'm not ashamed of it. I embrace it. At the end of the day, my strength comes from my struggles, So it's like, without that, I wouldn't be who I am today. I was talking to Bryson earlier. Best of both worlds. I grew up in the streets. I know that. I got a master's degree in that.
Right.
Now, I also study what the white people call, academics. I know that.
Yep.
I bring them both together. I'm a complete ball.
Yeah.
So I use all that and just use it as I see fit and just make all the things that I did in my past and not to repeat them.
I love that. I love that. So, since this is how to battle, what is a moment in your life, a battle that you went through in your life that you were able to overcome? How'd you overcome it? And then what message would you give to people out there who are dealing with that same battle right now?
Got you. So I'm gonna go back to prison because that's my reference point. That's all. That's what I got to draw on my last 17 years, overcoming prison. So the judge sentenced me. I'll never forget. He said, "Look, I'm gonna give you this time. Chances are you're gonna die in jail, but don't mean you can't change." So when he told me that, I'm like, "Damn, change? Why change? I'm dying in this motherfucker anyway." But this is how I processed it. But I say all that to say, I went to that prison system and I embraced it. Early on, of course, I was, I'm gonna say, still into, criminal activity. As time went on, I educated myself. I started learning that, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. So I started moving different. Like, okay, yeah, I can still associate with these people, but I don't have to be a gangbanger. You feel me? I don't have to throw up gang signs. I can still be friends with them and don't participate in their criminal activity and still go over here and do my positive stuff. Mm-hmm. So overcoming prison, I had to transition from destructive to constructive. That's just really what it came to. It's like, all right, I don't want this no more. So in order to get up out of it, I have to do better. And overcoming prison has told me now that I can overcome anything. Bro, 75 with triple life, I know people in there right now that got 7 years to life and been down 40 and they still in there. Yeah. So by understanding that and having that experience, it's like that was a battle that I needed to go through in order to become a better person, because in prison I learned so much, things that I would have never learned in prison, on the streets, because of the things I was into. So prison will be the obstacle, the challenge that I overcame. And the message that I would like to send to the people that's listening is, your current situation don't define you. Like I had prison. I had life in prison. I didn't let that stop me. I still educated myself. I still networked with people. I still built friendships. I created a family. I maintained the family while in prison. So it's not really your circumstances, it's you and the attitude and how you willing to go about it, And that's the message I want to leave with the people.
Nice, nice. How do you feel about gang banging today?
Stupid. It's sad because it's all over my body. I done did all type of crazy stuff for this stuff, but it is stupid as hell.
Yeah.
Just look at it like this. At any point, they can come and say, hey, we need this property. We need this street. We need this park. We're going to build a freeway. We're going to build this. And it's no longer. So once you get to looking at it like that, it's like, bro, this is here, but it can be gone tomorrow. And it's like, I have no stake in that. They can wipe it out. It's like, bro, it's nothing there. I don't own it. The whole thing was we was protecting our community. Well, we didn't got far away from that now. We're destroying our community. So it's like, it makes no sense.
Well, you're the, like I said before, you manifest things by believing in them, like just wholeheartedly putting in the work. What is next for you? Like, what is your dreams and goals going forward that you want to manifest? And I think it's important to put them out there no matter how big they are. My thing is dream big. And I believe that in order for us to have what we want, we have to truly believe that we can achieve it first before anybody else will, before it actually happens. So what is like your goals and dreams going forward? And I'm not going to say like a specific time, like 5 year, 10 year, no, because we never know. But like just going forward, what do you want? Where do you want to be in life?
So, so I have a lot of goals, right? And I'm on the course to complete them and accomplish them. But right now, I'm trying to become the biggest and baddest personal trainer there is. I want to be known worldwide. I want people to have faith in me and believe that I can change their life on the physical and fitness level. I mean, health and physical level. And with that, right, I'm dedicated. I'm committed. You know, if you trust in me and you give me if you trust in me and you allow me to train you, that you won't be disappointed. And that's just what it is. And at the end of the day, I'm gonna have a gym too. It's coming soon. I don't know when exactly, but I want my own gym. That way I can stop renting space in other people's spot and, using their equipment. I can have my own stuff. But ultimately, that's what it's going to be, a renowned personal trainer, having my own gym in multiple locations. It's coming.
Nice, nice. I truly believe that. It's like no doubt at all. And I know you personally, as far as when it comes to like fitness and health, like even in a place like prison, you were always about fitness and health.
Right.
It's like you've been doing this for so much of your life and you learned it in a place where like fitness and health is so important because of different reasons, like we trying to survive, be healthy, so that we get out and actually live a good life. But like for those out there who are wanting to know, like, why is fitness and health important for them? Why would it be important for anybody?
Good. So first we're gonna go with health. Health is important because it allows us to live, like it's been so many people that left this earth early because of bad health.
Yeah.
That had they been more, had they prioritized their health, they probably could have been here a little longer. So health ultimately is everything, because if you don't have good health, you can't enjoy the money, the family, the different things that we like to enjoy without good health, And fitness is about, feeling good, It's like when I hit the gym, I feel good afterwards. Like when I don't go to the gym, I don't feel good. I feel like weak. So it has a lot of benefits, but ultimately it comes with you being on earth longer, being able to stay here with your loved ones, see your grandkids, be able to play with them, being able body. And you don't have to have too many doctor trips and all that stuff. That stuff is, it's time consuming. It becomes stressful. So fitness and health helps you avoid them things, having to be on plenty of medication, have to, be dependent on things that you have ultimately yourself. Because ultimately we have everything we need within. We don't really have to run to these doctors. It's just we don't take care of ourselves. So that's what makes us run to them.
Right, absolutely. And so I have my new book here, and it's Warrior in the Garden, 7 Rules for Men. And one of the rules in the book is mandatory fitness. I feel every man should incorporate it into their life. And I talk about health and fitness in here and that. But it was one of the rules that I learned in prison. So 7 rules are different rules that I learned in prison when I became a man and what it truly means to be one. And I still apply those in my life today, and it's helped me to achieve success out here. So I wanted to share that with the men out there, or young men who want to become better men or become men and don't know what that means. And so you haven't read this book. I just gave it to you today.
Thank you.
But like just from your knowledge in becoming a man in prison, right? You went in when you were 17, so you obviously became a man in prison. What is one thing, one principle or rule or lesson or something you learned that you adopted, it helped you become a better man and that you still use today? And maybe it's in here, maybe it's not.
I'm sure it's in there because we have a lot of similar experiences, and you know we walked a lot of the same paths. But so prison, what I can say I took from prison that mind your business, prison, right? Because in prison it's so much different things go. And I knew this prior to going to prison. My parents and them always used to tell me, but it wasn't felt totally until in prison because I've seen so many people speak on something that they shouldn't have spoke on or involve themselves in something they shouldn't involve themselves in, and then it turned out too good. So I learned that, like, just it's a time and place. Like, and it's crazy because the older dude told me before I went to the print, he said, look, everybody number get called. You don't have to go in there and say nothing. It's just, you're going to have your moment. It's just inevitable. You're going to have to perform. And it didn't register then, but when I seen a few people that stuck their nose in places they shouldn't have been and how it turned out for them, I'm like, oh, that's what he meant. Okay, now I'm starting to make connections and put the pieces together. And now it's like, bro, speak only when need be. And if it don't got nothing to do with you, it don't got nothing to do with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so funny because you didn't even read the book, but that's not in those exact words in that frame, but it's one of the rules in here.
Right.
Same thing. When I went in, I was taught that. One of the first lessons I learned as a man, and I break it down in here in a way that anybody can interpret it. So, yeah, it's the same. I knew it. I
really look forward to reading it for sure.
So, how can people find you, support you, work with you, like share where they can reach you?
For sure. So again, I'm Giane Lollar. You can go to Fatally Fit, FFATAL_FIT. That's my Instagram, and also TikTok has the same handle. And I have a website, and I want to say I can't even remember right now. Let me not do that. But I do have a website. It's in my link on my Instagram page. If you're interested, click the link. It gives you plenty of options of how you can reach out to me, the services that I provide. And also I have my phone contact also on my page too. You can reach out to me. I accept texts, I accept voicemails, I accept phone calls. So if you're looking to transform your life through fitness and health, contact your boy, Coach G.
Absolutely. And I completely support that. And I know that you personally, so I definitely encourage anybody to do that, to reach out to you if they want to get more healthy, fit, and support you what you're doing, man.
Thank you.
But thank you for this time today, man. And let's circle back in time and see how far you are as far as reaching those goals and dreams.
For sure. I'll be here. Just welcome me. I'll be right here. Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Appreciate it.